Okay, let's get right into it. The new digital colonialism. It sounds intense, right? Because it is. We're about to unpack how the very algorithms connecting us might actually be the new frontier for our oppression.
Just let that sink in for a second. What if the biggest fight we're facing isn't happening in the streets or in the courts, but right inside your phone? You know that feeling, right? When you just meant to check one thing, and suddenly 2 hours have vanished while you were scrolling. Well, I'm here to tell you that's not a personal failure. It's not a lack of willpower. It's a design feature. It's a system built to hijack our consciousness for profit. We're going to break all of that down today. And hey, if this is a conversation you think we need to be having, do me a favor. Like, share, and subscribe. It really helps us reach more of our community. And please drop a comment below and let us know what other topics you want us to dive into.
All right, so let's pull back the curtain. This isn't magic, and it's definitely not about you being weak. This is straight up neuroscience. We're about to look at the actual machinery, the code, and the psychology that's been engineered to grab and hold onto our attention by targeting the most primitive reptilian part of our brains.
This phrase, a race to the bottom of the brainstem, is just perfect because that's exactly what this is. You've got all these tech companies in a constant battle, not for your hearts and minds, but for your biology. The whole goal is to bypass your rational thinking brain and plug directly into the part that runs on pure instinct and reflex.
So how do they actually do it? Well, their secret weapon is a psychological trick called variable reinforcement. It is the exact same principle that gets people hooked on slot machines in Vegas. Think about it. You pull the lever, or in our world, you refresh your feed, and you have no idea what you're going to get. Maybe something amazing, maybe nothing. It's that unpredictability, that maybe, that keeps our brains frantically coming back for more.
And this table breaks down exactly what's happening inside our heads. Every single scroll, every notification, it's a chemical reaction. The anticipation of a new like or a funny video spikes your dopamine, and that drives you to keep checking, keep scrolling. But the really scary part is on that bottom line, executive decay. I'm talking about actual physical changes. Studies have shown that heavy social media use can literally decrease gray matter density in your prefrontal cortex. That's the CEO of your brain, the part that handles impulse control. And that pattern? It looks frighteningly similar to what we see in substance addiction. And the platforms use specific features to weaponize this biology. Infinite scroll, that gets rid of natural stopping points, like the bottom of a page, so you just keep going. Snapchat streaks, they turn your friendships into a game that you're terrified of losing. Notifications are literally personalized bait, crafted to poke at your specific insecurities. And for us, for our community, it gets even deeper with shadow banning. That's when the algorithm decides your content, maybe about Black Lives Matter or a social movement, is too controversial and just makes it invisible. They silence us without ever admitting they're doing it.
Now, hold on, because just as we, the Black diaspora, have finally built these amazing digital bridges connecting us to the continent, a new wall is going up. And honestly, this might be the biggest threat of them all. You know, we all grew up with this idea of the World Wide Web, this single global space. Yeah, that's kind of over. The internet is breaking apart into what people are calling the splinternet. It means platforms are creating totally different digital realities depending on where you live, all because they're trying to follow different laws in different countries. So let's look at how this split actually works. Here in the US, the algorithm is basically protected as free speech. That means its main job is to keep you hooked to make more money. But over in the European Union, new laws are forcing platforms to reduce systemic risks. This can mean giving users the option for a simple chronological feed instead of a personalized one. The result? Two completely different internets. And to avoid legal trouble, these companies are just building digital walls between them.
So why should we care so deeply about this? Because these digital walls are going up right in the middle of our family reunion. They are threatening to cut the cultural lifelines, the bonds of Pan-African solidarity that we have fought so hard to weave together online.
This quote really gets to the heart of it all. For so many of us in the diaspora, the internet became a way to weave ourselves back into that tapestry of home. It gave us a connection to the continent that our ancestors were robbed of, and that connection is now directly under attack.
And here are the real-world consequences, what this actually looks like. It means it's harder to learn our history directly from creators in Lagos or Accra. It means it's harder for us to rally global support for crucial movements like #EndSARS or to bring attention to #CongoIsBleeding. It rebuilds those old, tired, racist stereotypes because the algorithms filter out the modern, innovative, complex reality of African life. They give us the sanitized, tourist-friendly version of Africa while blocking the real conversations we need to be having.
Okay, I know that was heavy. The threat is massive, it's real, but we are not powerless. Far from it. This is our moment. This is our call to stop being passive users of technology and to start becoming the architects of our own digital liberation.
And here is the most important mindset shift we have to make. We have to stop blaming ourselves. This is not about your personal screen time addiction. This is a problem of systemic design, and because it's a design problem, that means we can demand and build a better design.
So we start by taking back our own minds. These are things you can do today. Try the phone pause. Before you open an app out of habit, just take 3 deep breaths and ask yourself, why am I doing this? Use timers to create the stopping points that the apps have removed. And wherever you can, opt out of the personalized feed and choose chronological. Finally, practice what's called unsettled empathy. Go out of your way to find the voices and perspectives the algorithm is trying to hide from you.
Look, reclaiming our own attention is the resistance, but redesigning the whole system is the revolution. And for all my sisters, all the Black women who are in tech or are thinking about getting into tech, this is where we can and we must lead.
These are not just job titles. These are emerging roles of power. We need us as algorithmic auditors, the ones who go in and expose the bias. We need us as digital services coordinators, holding these companies' feet to the fire. We need us as advocates fighting for cognitive liberty as a basic human right. And we absolutely need us as humane designers, building new platforms that are designed to uplift us, not just addict us. These are the careers that will shape our future. So I want to leave you with this one last thought. Let's reframe this whole thing. What if we started treating the hijacking of our attention like a form of pollution, like attention pollution? It's not a personal problem, it's a public health crisis. And what would happen if we decided to regulate it the same way we regulate the companies that pollute our air and our water? What could we build then? Thank you for being part of a Black Girl's Guide mission to bring awareness to our community and put us in the driver's seat of emerging technology.